There we go. No, no, it froze. Okay, there we go.
A lot of momentum here. There's a lot of consistency that ends up coming out when you're able to feel like you control
Okay.
and win fights.
You guys can listen to this.
Now, they're getting a little bit of help with this zone as well. Maybe they can chain together some positive performances here.
With the amount of loot they're getting, it's gonna be so beneficial for them, especially controlling Catty Corner with that upgradable NPC there that spawns there. And if they're able to maybe get some extra gold around the map, go back and maybe find a bounty or two, a couple challenges completed from this game would be insane. There are some nearby, but over to Weeping Woods, Solution and Jagvir, who coming into this game were in 5th place. Down a player, a whole nother trio is in of Chicken, Avail, and Kytrex, and now they're going to disengage.
This is the fastest we've seen them leave the middle of the map. Almost always, almost every single game, they have done that pseudo port-a-fort strategy where they build up massive in stone and just look for tags around the area. So I wonder what kind of force this change in game plan out of that.
They maybe not happy with their past performances, but still overall in 4th place, still within striking distance of that 1st place. And it's interesting to see. We'll have to wait and look at the overall story of the game to determine exactly why they wanted to go a little bit more aggressive. Maybe not happy with the amount of eliminations they're getting early game.
Yeah, they've been getting plenty of Storm Surge tags, but not necessarily converting them into anything else. Maybe just looking to occupy a little bit more space, kind of extend their reach out, poke and prod around them, and then just head back, especially because they are in the zone. And look, for that kind of effort, they will at least get a llama, some additional bounce pads coming through from that, so they're going to be happy.
They are indeed with Iso, Poppins, and that's going to be Carp this time around. Rotating out of retail, not pressured this time. We've seen them have very interesting drop spots throughout the course of this finals. They do get one elimination. They rotate out early to grab some extra loot. Now going to be able to go back in. Nobody seemingly on this side, and I like that they're going back to try to grab any extra loot because they are not full on mats. They can look for rotations towards Dirty Docks if they want to. There is 2 upgradable NPCs there if they were not taken out by the teams that land there. And overall, they've got the setup. They just have to be able to convert.
Which is what Fortnite is all about, getting the utility, setting yourself up, and then executing on the options that you've given yourself. And we see these players do it. Just a reminder, you are watching the FNCS finals. We have already crowned 6 trios as champions of their regions. We've given out 18 axes of champions that will be worn until we have new champions next season coming through, which yet again will be trios. On the line today here in NA West, the number 1 spot will receive the bulk of that prize money, and the axe, the top 3, will be qualified straight through to the Chapter 2 Season 6 FNCS Finals. So that is a massive boon to be able to get into that as we switch on over here to a fight just outside of Slurpy Swamps between Union Food, Jeffus, and Dardis in another trio.
Our reboot round winners looking to try to come back in, because reminder, even if you think they're not in the running for that number 1 spot, there's so much money on the line, especially if you're able to get into that top 10, solidify yourself up there. Again, every placement goes up by a significant amount of money for your trio, and so they're looking to capitalize on these eliminations. They have fought this team, I think, every single game here today, looking to turn it around once again, trying to make something happen, but does not seem like it's going their way.
But I'm all for this. Like, I would much rather see these teams looking to take bites, looking to get a little bit more aggressive, avoid the problems with the surge, particularly if you've been struggling to find a drop spot and finding an area where you can execute, but you know you're able to fight together. Keep poking, keep prodding. Eventually somebody is going to collapse. They are good fighters. This is the best of the best. They've had to fight for 4 weeks to even get to this level, so they know they're able to execute in some manner, and Ordep shows it off there. They're able to win the off-spawn fight, pick up 3 eliminations, and because they're in Slurpee, they should be able to get right back up to that 200 effective HP threshold, no problem.
Great box-to-box fighting there. Did not worry about their teammate being down. Didn't let it affect them. And speaking of trios that have really good box-to-box fighting and not letting their trio being down affect their performance, it's Arkram, Rex, and Epic Whale, as they're already from Sweaty Sands down near Slurpee Swamp, looking for these tags, trying to make sure they don't get put in that situation once again.
You can see they're also in the loadout of Epic Whale, opting to carry that legendary pistol. We've talked about it a little bit. Why would these players decide to carry it? Well, largely it's because, one, the first shot accuracy reset on that, aka when you stand still or when you crouch down, that first shot coming out is one of the fastest, if not the fastest in the game. Additionally, it doesn't have a reduced headshot multiplier. All the rifles have a 1.5 headshot multiplier. The pistols, 2.0. So the 25 damage coming through if you are able to chain headshots together, and these guys are scary accurate at times. In addition to that, it means you can funnel all your light ammunition onto one player.
Okay, I am back.
You're not going to carry more than one weapon that ends up utilizing the light ammo. So you kind of spread your resources out, and that's why you see
Oh, you left.
have so much available resources in their assault rifle.
Oh, Midnight, you're here.
And that early rotation sets them up so well for this next zone. And you get
Midnight.
to see
You done?
where it ends up scoring. There's a trio around the other
Come
side.
here.
Arkram,
Midnight, follow me. Midnight, follow me up here. Come up here.
not wanna use all their choice flashes and shields
You had better view up
early.
here. It's a way better view.
Looking to try to push some sniper shots onto the trio. They do realize
It's like a way better view up here
is that
than down there.
they could be very aggressive and push towards them. Also looking back, they put those ramps up just to let everyone know, hey, we're not looking that way. You don't got to worry about us right now. We're looking back for those Storm Surge tags. Now, over to Hunter's Haven once again have yet to move out of their landing POI. On a high ground position, Spidey, Nate, and Blizzy in an awkward situation. If the zone pulls to where you're landing, you have to really go out of your way to find these Storm Surge tags. And we've seen it again for this trio, where they're here early into the mid game. My question is, how many tags do they have, and is it substantial enough to put them above?
Yeah, when we're talking about tags, that means getting the hit registration confirmation when you kind of shoot somebody else. You kind of keep track of that damage, knowing, hey, I got 22 there. Oh, there's a headshot. I got 38. And you know generally how much damage you've dealt. You keep track of that, and they've got an idea of how much damage they need over the course of this finals to kind of remain above the threat of Storm Surge. The one thing that's really beneficial about this area and the position they have is that regardless, before Storm Surge ends up going off, most of the lobby is going to have to rotate past them. So you can see that quick stat flying in on the left-hand side of your screen. 11 teams have multiple sniper elims this finals. None have ever fallen to Storm Surge. So the sniper confirmations coming over being a big reason, those headshots just providing such a huge abundance of damage towards the Storm Surge threshold.
Insane stat coming out of West, because when we think about snipers in EU, we think about Thomas, HD, NA East and NA West don't really have those premier snipers when it comes to mind, and now Storm Surge is going to give us that warning. 17 players are going to be below, and with the update there, 54 above for Nate, Blizzy, and Spidey, which is not a comfortable amount for them, and that's why you see them constantly looking for more and more tags.
Yeah, that number's just going to shrink until they are able to find somebody, but teams are going to be forced to rotate through, and again, because of the change in verticality here, you can't really push up this hill, so they have a decent amount of sight lines on those who are going to be rotating around, but they are going to have to expose themselves and want to avoid taking any excess damage. So you can see Spidey there actually eating a couple shots. Kytrex, Avail, and Chicken, who had rotated into Weeping Woods and then rotated back out and are now coming from the Butter Barn pretty much due north towards the zone, but there's 4 other trios around them.
They are, but they don't have to worry about these tags anymore, because they're 467 damage above Storm Surge threshold.
How? I'm sorry, I'm just so flabbergasted. Without a single elimination, how are they finding from the center of this map. Is this like what the point of going into Weeping is? Like, I'm gonna go back and VOD review this myself before the new season ends up coming out, just to find like where they're getting these shots that aren't also converting into eliminations. As I speak of converting into eliminations, keep an eye on that top left corner there, as Macon was able to find two, but Reet also end up getting knocked. So
down.
Oh, you called it out right there. Juicy Dylan down just onto the back of Quinn for what could be the first time here in the NA West portion of the finals. The entirety of our first place trio as well, and all of a sudden the door is open, but who will have the sense of poison rationality to actually push through and take advantage of the opportunity that Quinn, Juicy, and Dylan have just given here in match number 9?
Arkham, Rex, and Epic Whale. Will it be Kenshi, Snacky, and Chris? Will it be Chicken, Avail, and Kytrex? Or even our 5th place trio of Jagvir, Mojo, and Solution? Can they capitalize on this huge opportunity coming into this game? Down points, first place team going down early. They have got to know that this is a game they need to pop off on.
Well, it's the first opportunity you've had to really pick up points against the leader. We've seen a number of times where kind of the top of the pack hasn't had a separation, but over the first couple of games today, Quinn, Juicy, and Dylan had started to open it up. Coming into this game, they had a 23-point lead on Arkham, Rex, and Epic Whale, and then a 51-point lead on pretty much everyone else, a 50-plus point lead on everyone who's down to like 6-plus place. So, I mean, they were starting to create a decent amount of distance to at least arguably guarantee them the top 3, but now falling all of a sudden opens up a realm of possibilities here, as we are going to hop on over to our current 2nd place team of the West, 100 Thieves Arkham, Rex, and Energy's Epic Whale.
They were almost able to get that elimination onto Epic Walrus, but not able to convert. I think our Epic Whale did pick up one elimination there. Not sure if it was onto that player or another one nearby, but if we go through their loadouts, it's so good because they rotated so early this time, and they set up in the middle of the zone. These are recipes for success. If we're cooking a big dish tonight, this is what you need. The ingredients are here. Shia Wager, I'm stealing it right out of his line, Sundown, because finally they're in a spot where they can get Stormsurge tags and not be too badly affected by it.
Yes, but the real question is, are we cooking pizzazz on it here? Because despite them being in the center of the zone, I don't think they're just going to be able to cook this one out. I think they're going to have to bake it a little bit here. They're going to need to put a little bit more thought and care into what goes into each one of those steps and the timing of it, because that 4th zone rotation and getting to the outside is going to be nearly impossible unless they get a super favorable pull in terms of where this zone goes. So keeping an eye on the bottom right hand corner of the screen where the map is. The 4th zone is the last safe zone that is completely inside the previous one. For the 5th zone, it'll be half in, half out. What that means is our trios will prioritize position on the outside of the zone. Because they're so far central, they're are actually very slim, which means they'll at least have some form of rotation to make, whereas some of these other teams around the outside are going to have the priority side. And as I say that, they got as much of a favorable zone as you could pretty much get there.
Our 3rd place team getting it as well. They're right across the lake from them. They're watching each other move throughout their boxes. So great luck for both of these trios. 6th place is in this zone as well. Where are Chicken, Avail, and Kytrex, though? My guess is it's those arrows rotating through. No, it's going to be Frapp, Alithi, and Krizix, but we know they like to rotate early, so they've got to already be in the zone. They've got such big moments right now. It's cool. Penguin going to go down to Slim. Kenshi is looking for these Stormsurge tags, but he's got to be careful. There's a lot of players on that side of the map that are looking for tags on their rotate.
You can see, you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, what an amazing angle that is. Well, regardless, an open window, doesn't matter if you haven't ramped there, somebody's going to find a slot. And with 62 players left coming down into basically the transition into the mid game, then another zone and a half, so expect that in about 2.5 minutes here. I mean, things are only going to get tighter as the fight for real estate is going to happen towards the outside of the zone. You see Grover picking up a full confirmation there onto Storm. You see the Storm Surge warning coming in as well. It's going to affect 4 different trios here as still 61 players are left on their feet.
We get to see where Avail, Kytrex, and Chicken are, and Sundown, they've done no damage moving in from that zone. They're only 40 above, from 450 to 40. This is where they need to operate perfectly because it's going to start ticking down. There's 11 players that are below right now, and if they're not able to find tags, they're going to have to burn through those heals.
You can see them just spraying away at walls, hoping to find something. A couple shield tags could be enough to guarantee their safety, but there's no guarantee. We're going to swing back on board. Our previous match winner here, currently sitting 40 below Storm Surge, but no really sense of urgency on them. They're just chilling inside of the cone, potentially looking to catch somebody rotating, but everyone's basically already inside. Things could get awkward for them really quickly here.
Yeah, they're going to have to find something. The peppers are popped. They're trying to go in. They know they can go back with that zone revealing itself. This will be great for them. These trios on the backside of zone are going to be in awkward situations, just getting out of fights. Chicken is going to take down Temple there in the feed, but the Storm Surge is being activated right now. This trio above knows they're going to have to try to heal and get in. That Harpoon will be one shot to fresh walls if they're able to get involved. But right now, they're staying on low ground. They're not building up. They're not trying to force their way in. They're taking advantageous peaks. They have to get in. Saki is picking on down, 15 damage below. One player needs to go down, so they're kind of just waiting. Falconer will go down, still need one more. They're just trying to out-heal at this point. Will they be able to, though? It seems like for the moment they have. I think one player, no! It's still active. Chris is more than likely going to go down unless they put some heals onto him. And I like that they're not. They realize, hey, he's the one player. If we let him go down, we get his loot, and we do not have to take any more damage. What a smart play.
Fantastic decision. If anything, realized just a second too late. Once you're in that position where only one player is going down and players are still dropping, realistically, spend no heals on that one guy. Sacrifice him over to the Purple Thunder Gods right away. Offer him up on the table. Say, here you go. This is what we got to move into the placement points threshold as we're into our top 17 with the Storm Surge now being turned off at least for a little bit of respite here. However, a number of players are going to have to go down as we have a northern pull for that half in, half out. A number of teams in there, and Kenshi, he's a huge shot there on the low ground, and he's just going to cover his back and try and sprint and find a new layer, saying, I want nothing to do with that.
He finds the layer, but with 44, do they have anything left after the Storm Surge push? No. The answer is no. No heals in the inventory. Luckily, the zone is a little bit favorable there for them. It could have been way worse, but there are so many big names all around them. Chicken, Avail, and Kytrex as well.
Yeah, but that zone is pulling pretty much right to the top of that little waterfall that's right there. You can see it kind of in the top left corner of your screen right now. It is going to be such a pain for the teams to be able to get up that slight change in verticality. If you're going later, the teams who are there early, no problem, you're fine. But everyone else is going to be building up. Hop on over here. You see CLGJ, Daddy Favs, and Wavy Jacob trying to take an outside route. They're well above Stormfire.
Just barely. He can operate without the threat of the Purple Thunder God coming through.
He's looking for just a little bit of space. Fortunately for him, works back into some of their older builds from earlier on in the match. So with just one build and a dream, he finds tons of space and even the time to take a shield. Now he's doubling back, trying to find a player working through here. And because of the angle, he's actually in a really advantageous position. Creating the wall, gonna jump back through the window. Unfortunately, wasting a little bit of time there. Now ticking over to the zone. Needs to find an angle to get back into the zone. Not quite gonna have it. Finds one tag. Can he find the second? Not gonna get it. And he goes down 8th place though. Good effort from Avail. Old Man Mountain. He's been quiet today, but in NA West, he rears his head, and on the low ground, operating like a friend to Old Man Mountain, it's Rex, Epic Whale, and Arkham trying to take advantage of Quinn's early exit and storming their way back up to the top of the leaderboard. The question is, Clay, can they clutch it out here?
This would be a great opportunity for them to do it if they're on the low ground. This is where they operate so well. If they're able to get ahead, and they are, a lot of builds remaining here for Rex on the low ground as well, claiming everything. They have the opportunity to take some shields to slow it down a little bit. It is a 3v3. They got that top 3 placement point. It came through. That is so much, but Arkham is going to take a lot of damage. Rex trying to find an angle. He always finds good angles, clutch moments. Can he do it again? Can he take down a member of a trio to start to put this back in their favor? They're running out of time. It is going back towards the northeast through their old builds. They are going to be able to find some loot on the low ground, but is it going to be enough? They do have an HP advantage, as we do see Zinx going all the way in his zone, grabbing something of importance there. Maybe Max, maybe something, but Rex now on your screen trying to get up. Epic Whale going to take down Dex, but he's going to get traded out by Notch. Rex trying to get on through. Arkham going down very low. Rex is in the box, but he doesn't have the going down. He's got the HP, but he doesn't have enough. Does he have the heals? Does he have
those moving zones, the change of verticalities when you're low on mats, when there's so many other pre-built mats? High ground is king because it allows you passage through Old Man Mountain's way, and instead the zone taking so many of those trios over. But Kelly's prediction finally rearing their head and picking up a victory royale there in match number 9.
But our second place team coming into that game ended up getting that third place with a good amount of eliminations. There's definitely going to be some shakeups on the leaderboard, and we need Kelly, Shio, and Zeke to really tell us what's happening elsewhere on the leaderboard.
Guys, so much. We're getting ready here. Third game is complete. And as they mentioned, Kelly, it was your trio that shows up in a massive way. But of course, only the standings will tell the full picture. And we'll do that in just a second. There's a couple things that we want to talk about before we do into that. Chow? What are you looking at those shirts for?
Oh, I'm just checking sure and making sure my drip looks good for the FNCS finals.
Ooh, well, I feel like we need to do the same thing with a few of these teams, Shio, so I think it's time to do a drip check.
A drip check on the teams, you say? Okay, let's see if they is bugging or if they is valid and how they played in game number 1 of. You see Quinn and